Okay. So, right. Thank you. I usually jump on with an initial message, and I've channeled, I'll usually channel something out, write it down, or I'll have some synchronicities to report. And Spirit has been showing me a lot, and they've been bringing a lot of information through. However, for this particular reading, I just felt called to sit down and tune in and pull some cards and see what Spirit actually wants to talk about. And as I was just doing that right there, the cards psychic healing, psychic healing, and teacher are here. Okay. And I felt like this is a message that's coming through at a particularly tumultuous time, or where there's some kind of an upheaval going on. Now, if you're watching this at the time that the message is coming out, it could be at that specific time, or it could be at a much later date that you end up finding this, or you come back to this and it makes a lot more sense to you then. So keep that in mind. But I'm getting a message here about information is what it feels like. Education. Information that educates you. This teacher, this ancestor, actually. Yes, okay, it's an ancestor that's coming forward, a very specific one who has a role to play in your evolution, in your healing, and specifically in your development of your psychic, spiritual, and intuitive gifts. Everyone has them. You might not be a reader, you might not see yourself as a psychic or a seer or an oracle, and some of you aren't going to step into that role, and some of you will. But no matter who you are, no matter what gifts you have currently, everyone is psychic, every human is psychic. So there's something about an indigenous tribe that's coming through now, okay? An indigenous tribe connected to the Cree tribe, and a connection to the wolf spirit specifically. Yeah, they're saying honoring of the wolf. And something about this Cree tribe or a wolf pack. So this could be an ancestral clan that you belonged to or that you still belong to energetically. And there's a message about how to go on some kind of a vision quest right now. And it feels like something very sacred and very tangible. I'm hearing the word tangible. So they're saying education again. So this is something that is literally going to teach you about your roots, about your ancestry in this realm. And it doesn't have to be a literal genetic ancestry to that tribe. This is maybe something past life. It feels more past life to me. Just tuning into it, I get a sense that this is not something that you lived in this lifetime or that any of your physical ancestors lived. This is an ancestor that comes from a tribe that you used to belong to in a previous timeline, a different bloodline entirely. Interesting. I just heard chaos theory, and they're showing me a butterfly flapping its wings, and that is the sort of common symbol for chaos theory, which is like the butterfly effect. And what is this teaching? Okay, literally Spirit just said chaos theory teaches you how to manipulate time. And I don't really know or understand what they're talking about with that. So I'll just relay that directly. Or maybe we'll get more information about it as we go into this reading a little deeper. But we're being taught here, you're being taught, and there's a psychic message through the teachings that are evolving through you. They're showing me like a spiral effect within the self. There's something that you're returning to from the past that is relevant to the present that will impact or shape the future. So it's all connected, and it's this spiral of time, but they're showing me this spiral being within the self or being housed. I'm hearing the word housed within the self. There could be something connected to astrology or the astrological houses that are connected to this as well. It could be 8th house, 12th house, 4th house, 6th house. I don't know why I'm getting those ones sticking out to me. I'm hearing transitionary phase and transition. There's something about a transition. Let me see what this card is that I've been holding in my hand. Cat's Claw Purification. The jaguar was showing up to me earlier today as well. And this is whenever the jaguar presents itself to me, I know that there's an ancestor, a guardian spirit that's around. And now this is making more sense as I'm getting into the message, to the reading, to the energy, to the ancestor that we're connecting to. So, okay. They're showing me Bagheera, which is the Black Panther from the Jungle Book, and how he protects, guides, and teaches Mowgli. And they're showing me the scene in the Jungle Book when Kaa, the snake, comes and tries to hypnotize Mowgli. He lulls him into a false sense of security and then says, "Look into my eyes." And he starts doing this song, lulling him to sleep and he's slowly squeezing him and squeezing him. Snake symbology could be very relevant right now because this is connected to the transformation. It's connected to the purification. It's connected to the extraction of something from the past that they're showing me here. A subconscious, lingering mental pattern is what it feels like. And it's like the snake venom or the hypnotism, the hypnosis of this, the repression or the lack of consciousness around this aspect that's being drawn or brought to the surface. The wolf is howling, I'm hearing. The wolf is howling at the moon. The subconscious is represented by the moon, or this could be a transit of the moon that activates the houses that I previously mentioned in your chart. And that happens throughout the month. So this could be something that is cyclical throughout this month or through time in that way. And I'm pretty sure that it's Bagheera in that scene with Mowgli that comes and wakes him up or sees what Kaa is trying to do and wakes him up out of it. But there's something, I'm hearing the word threshold, a gateway, a passage. They're showing me a passage in time. And it is like a tunnel of light that they're showing me surrounded by darkness. But there's something about you being able to trigger this. Maybe it's coming up through triggers. This is the portal. This is the pathway. They just said, pay attention to emotional or psychological triggers. I'm also hearing the word thrillers, psychological thriller. This feels like a story for sure. And it's been echoing through the halls of time is what I just heard. This is a psychological thriller, a part of your story, a chapter or even an entire book in your story that continues and echoes through the halls of time. Could even be in the annals of time. They just said, okay, never, I was going to say something else. They said the annals of time. I'm hearing it's time to catalyze, and they're saying catalyze your growth. So the protector is coming in to help to shake you awake from something that held you. They said, yeah, I was going to say something that had you lulled into a false sense of security, into this hypnotic state where you were not aware or able to execute your free will. Close the portal, they just said, to close the portal. So your free will needs to be active to close this portal, whatever this is connected to. And they're showing me like the fierce snake. There's two snakes, they said. Just like there's two wolves that fight in the dark. One is love, one is fear. Which one wins is the one that you feed. They're giving me that old sort of, not wives' tale, but something about that. And there's two snakes, and there's one that's light, there's one that's dark. And they've been opposing each other for time immemorial. Time is definitely a factor here. The experiences that you've had have shaped you through time, they just said. And there's a purification occurring now as you regain some level of your awareness that allows you to be able to execute or to act on with free will, the closing of this portal, the collapsing of that time sequence, and the opening of the gateway to your true self. They're showing me, again, this spiral in the self that culminates in the center. It comes to a singular point. The 0 point in the self, and they're showing it to me right in the smack middle of the chest. Okay. Lion's mane, leadership. I feel like this is about duality because I'm seeing those scales of balance, and something about Aquarius could be significant because this just reminded me of Aquarius, the water bearer, the age of Aquarius, stepping into a role of leadership in the age of Aquarius. Or awakening to this leadership that I'm hearing graduated from in the past, that you graduated from I'm hearing teacher of teachers, teacher of teachers, psychic healer of psychic healers, seer for seers, prophets for prophets, but not for profit. Profit. A prophet for the prophets. They're saying something about seeing the melting pot, how everything has been melted together in some way, or this could be genes, something about the genes, genetic melting pot. How things have all merged or melted in some way. Okay. Go to Kola, higher consciousness. This is where you're being called, where we are collectively being called at this time. And this ancestor is calling you to reawaken. It's another branch, another link in the chain of self-awareness. And the stronger that chain is, and each link in its place, the more forward thinking you will be with what you came here to achieve, because you will see all of the links that came from the past and you will surpass the past. You will not regress. You will not transgress. You will find your way forward in the darkness through the light within you. You will find the true teachings held in your sacred domicile, they said, your sacred home, heart center. This is the higher consciousness. And I'm noticing how the moon, or what looks like the moon in this image, is pulling on his solar plexus. Can you see that? So there's something about the ego, the free will, the awareness, the consciousness, and the moon. Again, I mentioned that before. There's something about these transits of the moon that are pulling on you, or that have been hypnotizing you. Because the moon is illusion. It's darkness. It's false narratives, I just heard. False narratives. And it's part of this hypnosis. The moon can be seen as a sacred thing. And in some cultures, and I'm hearing indigenous, the indigenous cultures, and they're showing me these phases of the moon over her head on her crown. There's wisdom to be had. There's wisdom held in the cycles, the phases of the moon. But there's also a lot of distortion in the lunar fields. And the lunar energy itself is neutral, but it can be harnessed for a negative purpose. And this is kind of what I'm seeing here, is this psychic attack or this psychic wound that needs healing, so that you can bring back this power to yourself that you missed but didn't miss. They're showing me that you missed it in the sense that you wished that it was there, but you didn't miss it in the sense that you weren't aware that it was gone. Does that make sense? It's like you felt like something was gone, but you couldn't tell what. And I have been getting a lot of synchronicities about pulling the curtain back, opening the curtain, seeing behind the veil, and also something about the emotional depths, the psychological self, and not being able to put your finger on something. They've been showing me so many synchronicities and so many repeating phrases of that exact same thing, or so many repeating instances of that phrase. Can't quite put my finger on it, So this is why. It's because it was hidden in these realms of illusion that the moon created, or that the moon was used to create. I'm hearing to usurp your power. And I'm seeing serpent, the serpent. Usurp the serpent, okay? So the accessing of this higher consciousness is getting to the top of the mountain peak. I'm seeing that here with teacher and higher consciousness. There's mountains in both of these backgrounds. It's getting to the peak consciousness of this particular mountain range. There's probably more, right? There's definitely more. They're showing me, I've actually flown over the Rocky Mountains, and so they're showing me a sky view image of the Rocky Mountains, so I know what that looks like, and it's amazing. It's this huge, long mountain range that spans all the way from Canada down to the US. I think it even goes down into South America. I could be wrong about that, but it's very, very long, okay? And this is the point, is that there's not just one mountain, it's an entire range. And maybe this is even talking about like the range of your consciousness, where you've been able to go, where you've been held back, where you've been limited, where you've been suppressed in some way, intentionally or unintentionally. But this feels like a consciousness that you were not able to access, that was yours and was held in limbo or in stasis or in purgatory, if we want to call it that. And it's needing now to reawaken. Surrender. So how do we do this? Well, we have to surrender to this process and what that looks like. What does it look like? Well, it's about questing into these areas. They're saying vision quest again, and they're showing me the owls. There's owls in both of these cards. So there's a vision quest that is being had here, or that you're being called to, a sacred ceremony of sorts, but it doesn't have to be a vision quest like they did in the ancestral times. It doesn't have to be concerning any kind of substances. It's like you're able to vision quest through the intention of doing so. You're able to unlock these memories or to shed light on this level of consciousness through your intention and awareness and the prompt that you're receiving here today, and that you've probably been nudged by spirit before this to go a little deeper into, to look for, because it's through your questioning, it's through your curiosity, and it's primarily through your intention, which is the use of your free will. It's the direction of your free will that is going to unlock this. So pay attention to when you get those nudges, or when you feel that call, or when you have that curiosity arise, because there is some level of resistance there that doesn't want to go deeper. And that's part of the program. That's part of the suppression. That's part of the resistance that was created to prevent you from accessing this level of yourself. So don't let that have power over you. Take your power back from any resistance that may present itself as fear or triggers or emotional avoidance. Get comfortable, I'm hearing, or get cozy. They actually said get cozy with yourself here. Get closer with yourself is what that feels like to me. Motherwort strength. And it takes great strength to do this. I heard lion's era, and we had lion's mane, and there's a lion in these two cards. So I'm noticing these connections. Did you notice? Did you notice that I'm pointing out the similarities in the cards? Two cards pulled at different times in different orders that sync up. The owls and the owls, the mountains and the mountains, the lions and the lions. There's wisdom here in being able to recognize these patterns, in being able to let them teach you or guide you into, I'm hearing the word succinct, into the answer that you're seeking, or into the information that you need. They said reveal, and they're showing me a big reveal. One more. Skull cap, stillness. But you have to have this reveal take place. You have to be willing to sit in stillness, and not a lot of us want to do that. And if we want to do it, then sometimes we don't have the time to do it, or we don't have the energy to do it, or it just doesn't feel like the right time. But time is continuing to spiral, and they're bringing me back to the astrology again. And there's something about this. Oh, I just heard nodal point. Yes, the nodes of the moon. A nodal point. The north node, the south node being past lives. I was seeing something about the tail before. I didn't say anything about it, but the tail, the story, T-A-L-E, T-A-I-L. The tail end of something. And the release, the surrender, the letting go in these moments of stillness to remove the poison. The scorpion there, 8th house, ruled by Scorpio. The past, psychological wounding and healing, psychological triggers, emotional triggers, a deep dive, a necessary deep dive to expose the truth from within you, to look for what has been held behind your back, I'm hearing. What has been held behind your back. Okay, where do you want me to go next? I'm going to try and keep this reading fairly succinct, so maybe that's why they brought that word through, because I don't have a lot of time today, and I do want to do an extended on this one, and I have to do a members reading for my other channel. It's Tarot and Beyond. So I'm going to try and keep it short, but I do feel this tea leaf deck. So something about leaves or leaves of change. I was seeing synchronicities today to the phrase winds of change or change in the wind. Okay. We have a month coming out. Hold on. Let me grab that. They said sneak peek. May. Doesn't like focusing on these cards, but you may have gotten, pun intended, you may have gotten a sneak peek of this in May. Or if you're watching this at a later date, you will get a sneak peek in May. At the time I'm filming this, we've entered into June. So we have surpassed, I'm hearing the word surpassed again, we've surpassed May. They're saying all will be revealed. And they're saying time, and they're saying spiraling time. The flow of time, the river of time. Okay, we've got two more coming out. The dolphin and the bag. So dolphin says financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Again, past, south node. The bag, something important such as a new job or a raise. Okay, this is good. Both of these are talking about financial gain. And it could be connected to the strength that you are calling forth through, I'm hearing pattern, through this phase of development. They're saying psychic awareness, stepping into the change they just said, and they're showing me step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's a progression here. There's a level of progression, not regression. And things may have been out of order for a time, or there may have been a gap between one phase, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 5, 6, 7, 8. They could have been separate in some way. But there is an advancement taking place in the level of education and the embodiment of that energy that you're able to hold. Frequency wise, they said. And I was seeing that as like a wise frequency, the wisdom frequency. But also as frequency wise, like the level of, okay, they said emotional embodiment, the level of emotional embodiment that you're able to handle frequency wise. They're showing me opening of the floodgates. They're showing me a dam that's cracked and needing to actually, instead of having that dam burst because of the pressure that's on it, or the leak and the crack that's occurred there, it's being able to hit the button and open the dam of your own free will. That's the difference between being a victim and being empowered in this instance, or being able to access and hold this new frequency, is that you are the one who decides to do it. You are the one who takes the initiative. You are the one who activates it within yourself instead of having it happen to you. Because there is something about the astrology here, or like the time pattern or the cycle that you're in, that it's going to happen one way or another. And they're showing me somebody kicking and screaming. It's like, it's going to happen. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. And the easy way here is to surrender, right? It is, we literally had the surrender card come out. It is to surrender and get into this stillness where you can choose to open up those floodgates and let things spill out. They need to come out. They need to rise. That water level, which water represents emotion, needs to rise so that what was down below can float to the top so you can actually see it. Raising the consciousness. They're saying it again. It's like the water line is raising the consciousness. They said the spiritual energy beholds or behooves you. I couldn't tell what they said there. The spiritual energy beholds you or behooves you. They're saying swimming through the darkness, and they're showing me a dolphin diving down deep. And then also how they can leap up above the surface, but that water level is rising. Mercury rising, I just heard. Okay, we'll get a couple of tarot cards, and then I think we'll go into the extended, and we'll just let whatever wants to come through in the extended. I'm not like planning anything. I just want to see. I'm not going to ask anything. I'm just going to let spirit, I'm going to totally surrender to this process and how this energy or how this message wants to come through. So that's what we're going to do. But we have the Knight of Cups. They said stepping across the threshold. They're saying something about a trickle becomes a stream, becomes the cavern. They're showing me the great, what is that? called the canyon, like the Grand Canyon, the Great Canyon, the Grand Canyon. They're showing me the Grand Canyon. Something about Sedona, Arizona, I just heard too. But I was seeing him stepping over the threshold here of this stream of consciousness, or of the block. They're saying the block, stepping over the block. And now they're showing me a scene from The Lord of the Rings where Lady Arwen calls the river spirits forth, and they come as raging horses to wash away the ring wraiths who can't cross or try to cross the river, but they can't. So there's a guardian, there's a protector, and it's something about this element of water. I just heard Pisces full moon. Something about the Pisces full moon could have, I don't know when that is, if it already happened or if it's going to happen. I don't know. Something about the Pisces full moon could be significant here, is significant here. And they're saying tracks forward. Tracks forward. Train tracks, something about train tracks. Okay, we have another pile that this whole thing came out. I'm not going to look at them. We're going to look at those. I looked at one. We're going to look at those in the extended. And we're going to bring 3 more messages in regard to whatever this ancestor wants to bring through to you and the level of consciousness that you're meant to attain here. So if you are ready for a deeper dive, then you can join us in the extended. If you're already a member, you'll get access to the extended just, right away. Again, they're saying floodgates open. And if you want to access the extended, you can become a member for, I think it's $7.99, and you get access not only to this extended reading, but all the other ones as well, and the upcoming ones. So yeah. All right, guys, I think I will leave the message there. I hope it was helpful. And for those of you who are going to the extended, we'll see you there. A little bit of an outro here before I jump over into that reading. I just wanted to say another thank you to you guys who donated to me to help prevent bankruptcy and to clear that karmic pattern that I had going and that was instilled in me for quite a long time around lack and unworthiness and abandonment wounds and all of that stuff. So thank you all for your contributions financially, emotionally, energetically, spiritually, that have supported me in recovering and getting out of this cycle, this pattern, that have helped me to hold at bay the debt collectors and to prevent myself from going into that bankruptcy status and all of the things that would come with that. So thank you guys for that. We did achieve it. There's more to pay off. And I am opening for personal readings right now, smaller personal readings. The hour-long ones have really been hard for me to do. So I set up a 30-minute one that's all about your abundance template and that coding. So if you guys are interested, that's in the link to my website. It's tarotandbeyond.com is in the description box below. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you. And if you guys are able to contribute anything, or if you did, I just really appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead into the extended, and if you're not joining us, then we'll see you in the next reading. Bye.